Scotland is not a very big country, only 20 million acres, but it contains, by everyone's recognition, some of the most varied and beautiful scenery in the world. And 400,000 acres is water. Water which has so many varieties and subtleties that, like our blends of whiskey, there is something to suit all tastes. Here flow the waters that make fishermen's dreams, the falling, roaring waters that push the tributaries to find their winding way through the glens. The wee tumbling rock stop-and-go burns, the wide ambling rivers that pass through the mountains. The deep, still lochs. And among it all, of course, the teeming fish life, especially of the salmon and the trout. All this, to an angler on the way to his holiday hotel, is like passing through the banquet on your way to change for dinner. We are now in the Highlands, only a 4-hour drive from Edinburgh and less than an hour from Inverness. Like many of the hotels, where our guest and his family are staying, overlooks nearby water. These will attract at least one member of the family to fish. Hotels like this cost from 20 to 25 guineas a week to live in. John's anticipation of the next day is whetted by seeing some of today's salmon catch, which it is our tradition to display for all to see.
Good evening. Can I have a gin and tonic, please?
Are you Mr. Grant?
Yes, I am.
I'm very pleased to meet you.
How do you do?
I hear you're fishing on Beach 7 tomorrow. That's Beach 7, just at the bend of the river there.
Oh, this one here?
That one there, yes.
Beach 7 now.
John is shown the stretch allotted to him.
Thank you.
Lovely fish there.
Many of the hotels own their own stretches of water, lochs and rivers, and the tariff includes free fishing. Other salmon water can be fished for a daily charge ranging from 25 shillings to £3 a day. Next morning, John is all set for his initiation into the art of fly fishing. At the hut, other guests are already setting up rods and going to their beats. The River Spey among the Cairngorm Mountains is world famous for its fine salmon. The gilly has tied on for John the right fly for today's conditions, and he knows the pool John should try first. He has observed salmon during the past few days over where the stream pools under that rocky promontory on the far bank. I expect John's first cast will be short and jerky. Yes, the cast should use the wrist and forearm in a well-timed flowing movement. The line should extend fully back before the start of the forward cast, so that the fly lands softly, coming round with the current, covering the water where the fish lies waiting, facing upstream. Yes, that's better. Hello, he's into one. Now play it carefully. The fish will use the water, and the breaking strain, as it's called, of the cast has to be remembered. Let the fish take line when it runs or bores. Regain line when you can, back in your reel. Never let the fish have slack line. You're never sure. Must keep in contact right until you can land it. And there it is, a 9 or 10 pound salmon from the famous Spey. Not a great salmon. The record for the Spey is well over 50 pounds, but a triumph for John in his first day. And that's the delight of angling. If you like, call it beginner's luck. But though the promise of continuous bounty makes it worth learning and practicing and becoming skillful, the big catch is always available to the novice too, by the whims of luck and circumstance.
Yes, I'll be doing that.
Good evening. Good evening. Can I have a gin and tonic, please?
You're the gentleman and the salmon that's out in the...
Having been blooded, as it were, in the famous sport of salmon fishing, John's interest is now broadened by a fellow guest who's going out that night for a different kind of fish, the sea trout. And he knows just the spot.
Delighted to join you. Where you're going?
Oh, down to the old bridge.
Only those who have tried it know the fascination of night fishing, the quiet, the covering dark, and the increased mystery of what lies out there. Even the chosen water looks different by night than by day. Sea trout come into the rivers mostly during the summer and on till autumn. A shorter rod, single-handed and lighter than that for salmon fishing, is mostly used, but still for night fishing with a sunk fly. If you tempt one to your fly, you can usually bet that there are others there. Hello, Stuart's into one, so let's leave them to their night sport. The gentle art of fly casting is of such importance in Scotland that many hotels provide classes for their guests, held by expert fly casters. And here's a different kind of water. The River Lion in Perthshire, in the magnificent Glen Lion, only 80 miles from Edinburgh. This reach of the river is narrow and fast-running and can be closely covered by the angler, casting, letting the fly fish each piece of water, using the famous lion cast. Then taking 2 or 3 paces forward until the whole pool has been fished. The line comes back with an aerial loop for the forward cast. A take. The salmon uses the fast water, and you must assess when to give line and when to hold the fish as much as you dare against the breaking strain of the cast. Many a good salmon has got away in this water. Yes, ready for the gilly to tail it now. A fine lion salmon caught with a well-fished fly. We Scots know our waters from centuries of using the fly for salmon and trout that give good sport and food. But there are other fish in our waters, and we're beginning to realize that the ordinary coarse fishermen too can fish well here. In the River Tay, for instance, there are good grayling. Here's that international all-round angler, Bernard Venables, going for them.
That looks like Grayling water to me. Fairly fast running, with weedy areas and the slack of water where the Grayling lie. Float and worm bait. Cast well out and let the float trot naturally with the current. Watch it keenly. The Grayling bite, when it does come, is quick and subtle. No, not that time. Try again. Same area of water. Once you've selected the water, give it a chance with repeated trots over the same run. That's it. The Grayling roll is characteristic. He tries to get the hook out by every means, including using the current. He's running. Give him line. Now bring him in a bit. Hold him away from the weed. Remember the 1.5-pound breaking strain. I think, yes, he's tiring. Now I'm on top. But there may be another run. No, he's mine, if I can net him. Yes, a nice Grayling. About 1.5 pounds, I should think. A lovely Grayling.
And like these trout, good food cooked on the banks of the water in which this family caught them. The common brown trout is plentiful, and so are the waters available to the public for ordinary angling. Some free, others for a daily fee of from 5 to 25 shillings. In a quiet bay of our famous Loch, it was great to see Bernard Venables spinning for pike.
A likely pike lie over there. They like to lie among the roots. A palamine plug. Cast well out and reel at varying speeds to bring the plug twisting and flashing through the water, and at varying depths to tempt a waiting pike to strike at it. Again. Varying the depth with speed of winding. There it is. Now what's it going to do? Boring away. Give it line now. But must keep it away from the weeds. Steady now. But you can never tell with pike. They play canny. And just as you think they're finished, they plunge away. Yes, I think. Yes, he's mine. Not big. They often catch 20-pounders on this Loch, but a good fish, good sport.
I suppose one good reason why anglers like to bring their families on a holiday to Scotland is the combination of good fishing, beautiful scenery, and the other amenities that can be enjoyed at the same time. John, for instance, has had a day's fishing in the waters of the Spey and has returned proudly with another salmon, in time to meet his wife and son returning from a day's tour out to the northwest coast. And although they are interested in Dad's catch, their minds are full of the things they saw on the 150-mile journey to Ullapool. Through Inverness, past the castle standing on the River Ness. Along the shore of the Firth of Inverness, travelling west across the highlands. On the way to historic Beaulieu now, high rock cliffs and beautiful glens through which winds the river Beaulieu. They would have seen the salmon leaping near the dams. This is an area of hydroelectric stations. Here they saw the fish ladders which count the number of salmon passing up on their way to spawn. And on, still travelling northwest towards the Atlantic Ocean. Here the country and the water become rugged, and there is almost as much water as land in these parts of the highlands. Fishing water for the asking, and such a choice for all. Nearing Ullapool now, on the lovely 20-mile-long Loch Broom. Ullapool, fishing harbour and holiday resort only 60 miles from Inverness, lies at the mouth of the loch where it enters the Atlantic. Ullapool is a place so good for sea fishing that international angling championships are held there. Early morning. The charts showing where the sea fish are to be found are displayed in the hotels and guest houses, together with the list of boats which will take the competitors out to the grounds. This year, there are competitors from 9 countries. On these occasions, the quayside is abustle with anglers seeking out their boats, as well as the general holiday-makers, who can hire boats by the hour for the family or make up a party for the day on one of the bigger vessels.
Andy.
The journey out to the summer isles, where the fishing grounds lie, is several miles. The time is occupied by the anglers preparing their tackle and baits, and of course themselves, for a long day's fishing. Also, in anticipating the catch they will take compared with the other waters of the world they have fished. When the boats lie at anchor at their selected marks, the day's fishing commences. These waters contain a great variety of fish, such as skate, dogfish, haddock, cod, mackerel and whiting, all of which give good rod and line sport whether you're an expert pot hunter or a mere holiday maker. The flare signals the competitors home, and the evening is spent discussing the day, not only the fish that were caught, but the ones that nearly were, which are, of course, always better than the ones brought home, and are there for another day. And in Scotland, there are so many waters, beautiful waters, from which in any season you can bring home the fish.